yo.
Bar! Pass the mic right over.
This is Brian motherfucking Corey.
Respect.
You know how we do. We're back. We're black.
This shit starts right now.
All right, people, here we are. We're coming at you with another episode of Corey's Conspiracy Corner. So, some updates. Let's talk about some updates from the Boeing one, right? Before we get into a new one.
I heard some shit went down.
Yeah, we had another whistleblower die, right?
It was an accident.
That is true. Tragically.
Something different, though. Not like a shooting, like skin disease or something weird.
Huh.
Like when someone dies. Like a weird slumber party.
I don't know. I didn't actually look into it. So I was kind of hoping someone else had read into it. But I saw another one died.
Sorry about that.
But now that another one has died, 10 more whistleblowers have come out. So it's like you squash one.
And then
they're
more.
like cockroaches.
So we're going to see what happens
But good
with
cockroaches.
this.
I can't wait to fly.
We ain't got time for this shit right now.
Like cockroaches?
I just saw today a flight after it landed. It had some sort of malfunction and it caught fire and they had to use the slides to jump out.
I don't want to hear about this. You don't want to hear about Atlanta traffic. I don't want to hear about us about to die on Saturday.
Yeah, so not much more updates than that, but it was just kind of interesting to see that another whistleblower
10
died.
whistleblowers here.
Yeah, so 10 more coming out. So we got to protect them at all costs.
Oh, this was an hour ago. Ooh. This one.
Up
We
to
got parts supplied to Boeing had serious defects.
Do these whistleblowers know about their friends dying?
Yeah, right.
I think what's happening is, these whistleblowers are dying and these other people are like, this is really fucked up. No, let's all come together.
Right.
Like,
We gotta unionize.
yeah, because I heard some more things like
Spirit Aerosystems in Kansas told BBC he often found up to 200 defects on parts being readied for shipping to Boeing.
You think about it, it's not that gross.
Yeah, I heard one of the guys was talking about how they used to jump on parts to bend them into place.
Nice. I used to do that to undo a wheel.
Oh yeah, right in the balls, man. Right square in the balls.
This guy was nicknamed Showstopper for slowing down production when he tried to tackle these concerns.
Yeah.
Time for the
Showstopper.
Oh, and one of the whistleblowers that came out recently, he was even threatened with death by the executives.
I hate
he said
that's the worst thing. I hate being threatened by.
To a quote, he's like,
Boeing declined to comment.
One of the CEOs told him, you're like, I would kill a guy that would do something like this, that would try to come out against our company like this.
It's like those empty threats.
seriously, I will.
Like one of those threats that not necessarily a threat, but man, I could kill a guy.
Why would you say that out loud?
Yeah, so
God forbid.
crazy stuff.
Spirit Aerosystems. If I see anything that says that on our plane, I'm getting off.
But we're not going to talk about Boeing this week. This week in the news, what's your guys' feelings on chemtrails?
They're
On what?
really pretty, depending on how you do them. Yeah.
I like that. So chemtrails is what we're going to talk about this week, and it's been in the news. That's why I'm bringing it up. But just let's start off with what are chemtrails, right? So,
Isn't that a band?
My Chemical Trails.
Chemtrail.
Microtrail Romance?
Romance.
No, there's a real band called Chemtrails.
Is there?
Yes.
Oh.
But I like My Chemtrails.
So, the chemtrail theory is a belief that the government is secretly adding toxic chemicals to the atmosphere of aircrafts.
They really did believe they had permission.
Similar to
Also a song by
contrails. So, everyone probably know, and that's kind of the go-to is they're contrails, because contrails has got to do with the atmosphere and
Monsanto.
heat and stuff. And so it leaves a mist in the sky.
Yeah.
So obviously contrails are a real
pretty
thing.
much due to the axial shift and the solar gravity pulling. Yep.
That sounds like bullshit to me.
So, according to a research group at Harvard University, the reason behind the theory involves sterilization, reduction of life expectancy, mind control, and weather control. And so, I would argue...
weather. I don't understand the mind control.
Yeah, me either. And I would argue mostly these days people are talking about it as far as the weather modification at this point.
As it like a direct mind control or as though causing fear to control people?
Maybe.
I think there was a thought that they were spraying like actual chemicals that would like alter our brains, kind of like the conspiracy theory that fluoride makes you dumber.
What are you doing here? I'm just being stupid, I guess.
I got a friend who thinks that.
If you drink it.
He actually... I think I sent a message of one of my friends who thinks that to you recently.
Yeah. And maybe we'll get into fluoride sometime. I could talk about fluoride.
Not fluoride, but certain chemicals that...
in the air.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I would argue most of the time these days, people are... When they say chemtrails, it's weather manipulation.
Make it rain!
There is more of an up and coming conspiracy when it comes to chemtrails, but we're gonna save that to the end. The reason I'm bringing up chemtrails though is because it's becoming more and more of a real thing that they're emitting is actually happening. And the main reason I'm bringing this up is Tennessee.
Tennessee.
Lord, I've really been real stressed down and out.
Recently passed a bill, and the bill reads, the intentional injection, release, or dispersion by any means of chemicals, chemical compound substances, or apparatuses within the borders of this state into the atmosphere with the express purpose of affecting temperature, weather, or the intensity of sunlight is prohibited. So Tennessee actually passed a bill saying that it is illegal for you to do that. So that's kind of bringing to light that even the government, that state government is like, okay, no, this is becoming more and more of a real thing that we're like, we don't want that in our state.
Speak for yourself.
So, and for the longest time, people would be made fun of for chemtrails. But I don't think you can argue that it's fake anymore.
I'm flaky. I'll say anything.
So Dubai...
I could try.
Please do. So Dubai is very well known for their cloud seeding efforts.
Due to their pollution and shit like that too.
Well, Dubai is a very drought-ridden city, right? And so they spend millions on cloud seeding.
And lots of Instagram.
They use it using drones to zap clouds with electricity to create rainstorms. This technique has been used to create rainstorms in the past, particularly during times of drought. The government has been investing in cloud seeding technology to improve its effectiveness. There's some other...
How long have they been doing that?
I think it's just a couple of years now.
Gotcha. Because it's like, for me, it sounds more like tendering wood, but in the form of clouds.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Huh.
Yeah, so it's more like they're trying to use what's already there and just kind of prop it up to make it do more.
Huh.
Poke it with a stick. Do something.
Like
yeah, do something.
We shall be gods together.
So some other methods that Dubai uses involves injecting substances like silver iodide. And that's the one that you're going to hear a lot about is silver iodide. They use dry ice to also throw into clouds to stimulate precipitation. So the goal, obviously, is to increase rainfall that can help elevate drought and provide a sustainable source of water. So I don't know if you guys have been paying attention to the news recently.
It just keeps changing and changing and changing. 1 minute is one thing, and then the next minute it's another thing.
But like a month ago, Dubai had torrential flooding.
Yeah, that's what I'm reading right now.
Yeah, just out of control flooding. And so people were quick to blame this manipulation that's been going on with the weather and them cloud seeding. There was also in San Francisco in April, just this year, they began a solar geoengineering project where they shoot salt crystals into the atmosphere to create brighter clouds to reflect sunlight.
What do they shoot them with? Like, just launch them out of a cannon or something?
I don't know. I didn't read how they did it.
But
probably more drones.
Yeah, it's been highly controversial.
You don't say.
Because of how it alters weather patterns, obviously. And it's possibly messing with fishing and agriculture. And so the people in those fields have been very upset with this. And of course, like most things that government does, it wasn't disclosed to the public until after they are already started. So they started this. There was no voting. There was no like, hey, do you think this would be a good idea for our state, our city? It's just like, we're doing this. Enjoy.
Peace, you punk bitches. Come back next year when I put some little eggnog in your face.
The reason I bring this up is like, these are obvious examples that are really happening. For the longest time, this has been like, oh, this isn't happening. You guys, it's just contrails. That was always the thing. It's just contrails. It's just contrails.
That's it. It's condensation from the planes that are just,
But more and more it's coming to light.
From aircraft. That answers my question.
Okay. They're shooting it. Yeah. It's always from aircrafts, I guess.
Yeah. My brain, I just thought it was funny shooting it.
Yeah,
out
it would be like a cannon.
Yeah.
Just giant
like a t-shirt cannon.
That's it.
So there's been other examples of them openly talking about this. Shows like The View, which we all love. Yeah,
they're not talking about anything.
I'm not talking about anything on that show.
But shows like the View or Late Night with Colbert.
Stephen Colbert.
They've had meteorologists come on discussing cloud seeding.
Paid.
They went as far to show videos with planes with the flare tubes attached to them where they would be shooting out the silver iodine. The meteorologist would talk about how like, oh, I went to school 20 years ago for this and it was poo-pooed on back in the day. But it was because it was too expensive 20 years ago. But now that technology has caught up, they've really ramped things up and they're more and more pushing this kind of weather manipulation. So at a high level, this all may sound like a good conspiracy, right? Like, I mean, more rain, less sun.
I also feel like we're also off our axis a little bit. It's kind of in that cyclical time. Not to poo-poo on.
I think you're right. I think we are closest to the sun. Like, well, that's not the axis. I think we're in our, you know, how when we go around the sun, I think we're at a point
rotation,
where we're really close to the sun than we usually are right now, too.
There's like an off-kiltering that happens every, 1,000 something, I don't know. But,
Yeah.
Smart man.
But, so yeah, it kind of sounds like on the top level, this sounds good. Like, oh, we need rain. Maybe we don't need as much sun, maybe because global warming. But, however, silver iodide that they use to cloud seed raises a lot of ecological concerns.
That's the stuff that you use under people's nose to wake them up?
No.
Okay.
That is, what is that called? That is
something iodine? No. Sulfur? No.
Sulfate. Sulfate?
No, that's not it.
Oh,
it starts with a P, I think.
Doesn't matter.
Bath salts.
So no, this raises some ecological concerns because it might be toxic to terrestrial, aquatic life, as well as human life.
Ammonia.
It's ammonia, yeah. It's just smelling salt ammonia.
Oh, yeah. So there's a scary possibility of contamination as well, which is, I mean, this is a significant unknown with this cloud seeding process.
You have the tree planting at the Sky Garden.
Mishandling silver iodide and other chemicals could set off a chain reaction of environment pollution with consequences echoing as across natural ecosystems and posing tangible risk to human health.
Yes. It's like a lot of this stuff kind of came around with like Monsanto and shit like that with they were just kind of, was it cross-pollination or something? And some people were saying it was not the seeds, it's the chemtrails.
Yeah. I mean, so I've seen things talking about like, there's farmers that are talking about there's so much aluminum in their dirt.
You did it.
Aluminum.
Give the boy a prize.
And it just keeps building up. And so they think it might be this silver iodide that's being shot in the air.
Right.
And it's building up on the surface and it's causing their agriculture is having a harder and harder time to grow.
Wait. How does the silver iodine
turn into aluminum?
Yeah.
I don't know.
That doesn't make any sense either. I mean, like, they're both a form of silver, but I'm no scientist.
No.
You probably don't know that, but.
Really? I thought I saw your degree on the wall.
His daughter drew that.
You can't fake these.
So people, like, since this is coming more and more relevant that they've been doing weather manipulation, there's been a lot of wacky weather recently. And a lot of times you'll hear in the news, oh, this is global warming. This is because of global warming. We're shifting, which there's probably some truth to that. But it
Ice
could
caps.
also be some truth that we're fucking with weather. And we're having ripple effects of the earth is like not knowing how to handle this different weather. And it's reacting in different ways. Maybe the flooding in Dubai, maybe the flooding in Texas that we've seen recently.
When I was younger, I used to look at the back of magazines. They would have like certain things that you could send for.
They sell the flashlight here too.
And one of them was like an earthquake machine. So you can attach it to like a building or whatever. I'm like, if I fucking attach this to the school, we're out. You know, right? That's how that works, right? So earthquake machines?
Earthquake machines. There's allegedly an earthquake machine in the Antarctic. So there are people that have come forward saying that they have certain, I don't know if it's radar guns, some sort of like big devices that they allegedly can create earthquakes in the Antarctic.
Which he used to bitch slap Eskimos.
Is that do something for the spin of the earth?
Why they would be doing it? I don't know. Because the weird thing about Antarctic is like all the countries have access to it. They all have their own bases there and they kind of work together. So I'm not sure why there would be.
And you can't just go to Antarctica.
No, it's illegal to go there. You have to have special permission to go there.
Come on, I suck your dick.
The aluminum is from acid rain.
Okay. Which
Acid
I
rain is
wonder if
why
that
they
has to
bleed.
do with the mixture of silver iodide then.
Maybe. Acidic rain water can leach aluminum from soil clay particles and then flow into streams and lake. The more acid that is introduced, the more aluminum is released. And I mean, their pollution probably has a lot to do with the acid rain there.
Oh, yeah.
That's true.
I'm just trying to find random
No,
things that
yeah,
can
I
help
appreciate
out
that
those
for sure.
theories. Because I was genuinely curious when you're like, how does the aluminum?
Yeah, no, because I've been hearing that, how they've been doing more and more tests on the soil and the soil's getting worse and worse and worse.
What I've read almost about a
acid rain
year or
does
two
make
ago
sense.
is saying that we only have a few more growing cycles before all of our soil is our regular soil, before it's non-treated and stuff like that. It's like we won't even be able to make gardens anymore. Well, it kind of sucks too, because it also drives people to get processed food and all this when government controls the food source and all that. Like, it is a, what is it, Soylent Green style?
Yeah. Allegedly back in the Amazon, kind of off topic, but on the topic of soil, thousands of years ago, they had figured out a way for soil to replenish itself, and it got better with every crop.
Was that the orange peel thing?
Way before the orange peel thing. They had actually created a soil that rejuvenated itself, and like every crop, it would become healthier and healthier and grow and grow.
I'm going to put it on my dick to make it big.
It's something they've never been able to replicate. Scientists have been trying to replicate for years, and they don't know how they did it.
Not the coffee bean one? Oh.
No. No. It's interesting. Totally off topic. I'd have to research it more, but it's just one of those things you read about, and it's interesting.
No, that's not how you provide information. You don't research it and then provide the information. This is the internet.
It's impossible to be sure.
Check on Facebook and see how many likes it is, and then
that's how credible it is.
Yeah. So here we have some real world examples of like they've been doing weather manipulation, right?
I almost heard werewolf.
Werewolf examples.
Oh, speaking of, I gotta watch.
It's time now.
Time is not right now.
Uh-oh.
Grab those hats. You know the ones I made them last time?
I accidentally sat on mine.
That's all right. You can just bend it back.
I put a burrito in mine.
Put those hats back on, guys. All right.
In the shape of a dick.
So I mentioned there's some new conspiracies with the chemtrails now.
Okay.
All right. And this relates to the conspiracy Project Bluebeam. You guys know about Project Bluebeam at all?
Tell us.
Backwards.
All right. So
this whole time, everything sounds rewound.
Everything's in my right ear is my left ear. So Project Bluebeam is a conspiracy that alleges the existence of a covert project designed to deceive. Oh my gosh, guys.
Well, I like that you sounded that out, and I heard that you sounded out, and I'm for that.
To deceive and control the global population by creating a simulated religious event using advanced technology and psychological tactics.
Get out of my head! Leave my brain alone!
So, NASA and United Nations are typically the covert organizations cited. So, what does this have to do with chemtrails? The connection between the two has to do with holograms. So,
Tupac?
Yes.
That was one of the sickest holograms.
Like Tupac,
Right
or think on a bigger scale, think Spider-Man Far From Home.
Very, very far away.
Okay.
So you had Mysterio, he created holograms using drones to convince the public that they are in danger, right?
Right.
So this falls along the same lines.
Got him.
The thought is that this covert organization will use holograms to create a worldwide event.
So create your reality. And
that's what sucks in this day and age. You don't know what's real.
Don't know what's real.
These are real fake tips. Feel them. Go on, feel them.
So the most popular theory at this point is an alien invasion, especially with how much they've been pushing. Like recently, aliens are real. Like all of a sudden, it's like coming to the forefront that all these alien drops, and so that's the most popular theory at this time.
We're definitely not alone.
Yes, and so
no, it's the three of us in here.
Oh,
That's funny. That's funny, smart, and great.
So the reason that the chemtrails would be connected to this holograms
that was in my head, and I refrained. I behaved myself that time.
I saw that, but I didn't want the moment to get too far away from me.
So
I realized how much I do it.
For holograms to project, there has to be like shit in the air for it to bounce off of, right? So that's where the chemtrails are coming into play. So they're saying that now they're going to start pushing more and more chemtrails out in the air.
You know, it's actually good for the fish and plant life.
I see.
So that the holograms are visible. That way they can put on a show of an alien invasion all over the world.
Nope.
And they could have the holograms of alien invasions, and they can do stuff like Spider-Man Far From Home, where they had drones shooting real missiles, blowing up cities
You got me.
to convince us
with monsters.
So how? I mean, like I understand a little bit of this, like the hologram stuff. Usually has to have a lot of control around it. So like I'm thinking of this kind of like a mirage on the street. There's a certain amount of pressure and moisture in the environment that sort of mimics this visual for you, I guess, or creates this visual.
Tries to fill in.
Yeah. So you're seeing a reflection of something, but it's actually just dry when you get there. But minor
Like
quantum particles or some.
Well, so that's why the alien invasion is so popular, is because it could be thousands of feet in the air.
Yeah, and then you don't even have to see it clearly.
You don't have to see it clearly. All you see is like these ships coming in, and they're shooting fucking missiles at you.
But it would have to be the same.
Everyone's running and scared and hiding, and so then that brings on the people begging for a one world government. Is the thought.
So the hologram itself is pretty much just bended to light in a sense.
Explain that more. What do you mean?
Meaning, so I am still trying to figure out how they are going to control something without controlling they're trying to control the environment. Usually when you do successful holograms, you control everything that's around it. So if you have like a stage performance, the lights, the clearness, or you have the control of that to give the suggested visual that you want. But when you're out in the sky or whatever, like you don't really have that much control. But if it's just light, you can probably send like a laser.
Lasers. It would be lasers, I would assume. And since we have our tinfoil hats on,
mine's uncomfortable.
Mine's breaking.
Thousands upon thousands of satellites in our air, right? What's to stop them from sending lasers? What if they're all...
They could probably shoot a missile right now.
What if Elon Musk's satellites alone had all the lasers on it? Because if you ever look at the map of how many satellites he has in the air, because that's constantly in the news, right? They're complaining that he is...
well, I guess they have had, like in China, they've had the drone shows with, like those look crazy.
Well, they do that here.
Right. Do they? Where do they do that?
They did it in Philly. They did a giant drone show. The Super Bowl shows have been doing them.
Huh.
Yeah. Shoot them down! Whatever they are! They're crazy.
And you got to assume that DARPA and our black ops are way more advanced than us. They have technology that's 30 to 40 years advanced.
No, they're not that smart.
No. No.
I got poopy.
And so that's this week's episode of Corey's Conspiracy Corner.
Are you saying corner? Corner. Do I have to say it? You have to say it. Oh, sorry, corner.
Okay. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, no, I haven't really. I mean, when it comes to like the whole chemtrail things, I feel like there's so many people who don't care what they put in their mouth.
Mhm.
I don't.
Put it in your mouth.
Well, and that's why it would be easy to spray something in the air and no one's going to care.
Right.
Especially if you're like, it's just contrails.
That's it.
That's just it.
And then so many people
Chemtrails?
think that is that a conspiracy?
What, chemtrails?
Chemtrails.
Yeah.
So, I mean, after me like looking into this, I would say definitely weather manipulation is happening. 100%. I mean, they're it's in the news. They go as far as go on The View to try to make us sound like it's like a good thing. The Colbert Report, the View and Colbert Report, I think most of us could argue as very propagandist.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
So
I don't do any of that.
So the fact
She's
that
even still on that show.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
She's got her
I was like, is this bit still
mohawk
still
nowadays?
good?
Is it
Mohawk?
Does she have the mohawk?
Oh
now?
She's the shaved on the side with the
What?
She's losing her rank, her predatory rank. Yowcha.
So they're not hiding it anymore. It's the weather manipulation is definitely a real thing. The holograms, who's to say? I don't know.
Whoopi Goldberg funeral.
Yeah, my thing is with the general populations. Okay, you're a Joe Rogan listener. You know the thing that he's kind of been referring back to from like what 1986 or so, like that politician or I forget exactly who it was, but it's pretty much saying how to disrupt a nation using just corrupting the schools and just ruin the education, and then you can just take over.
Yeah,
because your nation is going to do it for you.
Yeah,
but I feel like I'm a huge advocate of critical thinking. Like
it's because we still remember how to do it.
True. And I think I like to sound stupid for entertainment purposes here and there.
Yeah.
But I think acknowledging your biases in certain in all situations will help you be better off. It's like when you put your emotions out there and just let them be attacked, like your defenses are going to raise. And when somebody brings like a conspiracy or some sort of theory to you, you're like, no, that's not what happened. Or it actually incites that fear. And it's like, oh my God, they're doing. It's like, no, just think about it. Follow the line back and see if that's what it actually is. Some things we can't know for a fact. Like the whistleblowers coming out. A lot of this points to a certain direction, and you're like, what do you say with that?
Especially, I mean, with the Boeing thing, the fact that more and more
there's a lot of corroboration.
They're building up their courage and stuff, and so one last thing I'll say on the chemtrails that I thought was interesting. I can't say I've gone back and looked at the videos, but this guy, he didn't speak English, but he had a translator. And he was talking about how he was paid millions of dollars by Disney to go back into their old videos, movies, and to add contrails to all the planes in the background of all their things.
That's interesting.
And he says the reason he was hired to do it was so that when people later on go like, yeah, look at all these lines in the sky.
Planes always had that.
Yeah, that's exactly it. They're like, look at all these lines that are constantly coming out of planes now. This didn't used to happen in my childhood. And now they can go back and watch these videos on digital Disney because people don't have physical copies anymore. That's the theory.
Sad day.
And they go back and be like, oh shit, it is in the movies from 1960s. Never mind. I guess it has always been there.
Yeah. See, I'm also
It's always been there, like the naked woman and the rescuers.
That one too. On the calendar one, whatever.
No, she's in
she's in the building. Yes.
You're talking about calendar, like those ones where you open it up and that chocolate comes out?
No.
Because that's what that building reminds me of. I open it up and there's a naked lady.
It's like, oh, wow.
Best one ever. What are those called?
Like the pens that turn upside down. Like,
Advent calendars? Is that what this is?
Advent calendars, yeah.
Yes, not those ones.
All right, anyway, sorry. Derail.
Fuck, what was I going to say? But yes, the natural population, the general population, they don't like to put the effort in to do the work
on anything.
Yes. And it doesn't even require so much work or effort. It's like you rather poison yourself with certain things instead of know the truth. And a lot of people like that comfortable truth.
You mean lie?
And it doesn't make sense to me. Like it's like why not? It's like you're going to say that I'm just going to do McDonald's every night. It's like you kind of have to. McDonald's isn't bad in moderation. You know, it's not the most healthiest food. Your body will pass it unless there's forever chemicals in there.
We're all so busy.
Yes. We do pay for convenience.
We're all doing what we can. And so there's only so much we can fit into our brain every day.
Yeah.
And so
but that's the thing too.
Most of us are being like, wouldn't you rather just be like, things are fine?
Yeah, most people don't want to put the effort into to put more stuff into their brain.
Right. I'd rather go home and play video games, or I'd rather go home and watch TVs, like
looking at
movies.
I know.
No, it's just
I go home and go and see
I'm not blaming
my pirate game and
I'm
forget
not
the world
blaming
exists.
anyone.
We all have the right to that time, though. I mean, we shouldn't
I get what
be
you're saying.
forced
No.
to do that. But I feel like a will to want to learn more or be better. Like, I think when you just never pick up a book outside of school, like
it's tough though. Some people are working 18-hour days to feed their family.
Yeah. And some people still make the time for certain things too, doing that.
Like jerking off.
Yeah.
This is extremely important.
It's just, how are they going to come up with time?
Yes.
Yeah.
You know how many people I saw jerking off on a bus in Philadelphia?
Jerking work.
There! I see some! Look, I spotted them!
2.
Still? You're still doing that.
Did you see when Fall Guy got off topic? When Fall Guy got over and that guy in front of us stood up and his pants were down by his ankles?
His whole ass crack out. He
What
was
the
special needs
fuck?
though, so I don't know what was happening. They were like a whole group of them.
Oh, well now I
The
feel
whole
bad.
group had their
it's fine.
pants down?
No, just that one guy, but he did.
I
I was like,
Oh,
what the hell?
I didn't know they were special needs.
I don't know what
feel
the
bad.
fuck those guys are
I was
doing.
just like- I was
but
like,
whatever
why
it
is
is,
his pants
I'm
down?
in.
If you enjoyed this podcast, well, that's not all. Stay tuned next week for the continuation of this episode, whenever these things come out. Shalom.